Update 2. Am I the asshole for calling out my husband's coworker at his corporate party for flirting with him right in front of me? It's been a whirlwind since I found out about the affair, but what I've uncovered since then is far worse than anything I initially imagined. As it turns out, my husband wasn't just cheating on me emotionally or physically, he was systematically betraying me in ways that hit even deeper. A little backstory: I make a lot more money than my husband. I've worked hard to build my career, and I'm proud of where I am financially. On top of that, I have a trust fund. When my great aunt passed away, she left me a sizable inheritance, and it's been growing in an investment account since I was 5 years old. At this point, there's more than $4 million in that account. I've always been careful with money, planning for the future and making sure we had a comfortable life. My husband, on the other hand, makes significantly less and has always had a more laid-back attitude toward finances, but I never held that against him. After discovering the affair, something kept nagging at me. I kept thinking about that text I saw, the one where his coworker asked, "Is she still mad?" And he replied, "Did you have to be so obvious? You're going to ruin everything." At first, I thought ruin everything meant the affair or maybe our marriage, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized there was something else. He had never seemed particularly remorseful about the affair itself, and that line kept echoing in my head. What exactly was she going to ruin? Then it hit me. It wasn't just about the affair, it was about money. I had trusted him completely, and he had access to all of our joint accounts. But could he have been doing more than just cheating on me physically? I decided to dig deeper. I hired a forensic accountant, someone who could go through all of our finances: retirement accounts, savings, checking, money market funds, even our credit cards. What they found left me floored. For the past 2 years, my husband had been slowly and methodically funneling money out of our joint accounts. Not large sums, just small enough that I wouldn't notice. But over time, it added up. He was siphoning money into an account I didn't even know existed. And that's not all. He had been paying for their lunchtime hotel rooms, yes, hotel rooms during their lunch breaks, with our joint credit card. I couldn't believe it, but it got worse. Remember that business trip he took a year ago when he said he had to be away for a week? Turns out it wasn't a business trip at all. He took her to the Bahamas. And guess how he paid for it? With our joint credit card, he used my money, our money, to pay for a romantic getaway with his mistress. I was livid. I felt completely gutted. Not only had he cheated on me emotionally and physically, but he had been stealing from me for years. It all made sense now. When he said, "You're going to ruin everything," what he meant was that I would discover his financial betrayal. This wasn't just about an affair. He was preparing for a future, without me, and using my money to do it. But don't worry, I got even. After the forensic accountant confirmed everything, I took action. I immediately contacted a lawyer and froze all of our joint accounts. I also moved my trust fund and all of my personal savings into accounts that were solely in my name, untouchable by him. Then I gathered every piece of evidence, the credit card charges, the hotel stays, the Bahamas trip receipts, and presented them to my lawyer. It turns out that not only was this financial infidelity grounds for divorce, but we had enough to press charges for embezzlement and fraud. I confronted him with all of the evidence. He was pale, stammering, trying to come up with excuses. He had nothing. He had no leg to stand on. And when I told him that I had already filed for divorce and that the courts were aware of his financial misconduct, the color drained from his face. He knew he was screwed. The best part? I had more than enough to take him for everything, and I did. As part of the divorce settlement, I kept our home, the majority of our joint assets, and a significant portion of his retirement savings. My lawyer was relentless. We made sure that every penny he siphoned from our accounts was returned, and then some. And as for him, he's left with his paycheck, the clothes on his back, and his mistress, who I'm sure won't be too thrilled when she finds out he no longer has access to the comfortable life he thought he could build off my money. And that's not all. I made sure that his company found out exactly why we were divorcing. I sent the evidence of his affair, complete with the credit card charges and hotel stays, to his HR department. Needless to say, his corporate career took a hit. Apparently, companies don't look too kindly on employees who use company time and resources for extramarital affairs. In the end, I came out stronger, wiser, and with my financial security intact. He, on the other hand, lost everything he was trying to build behind my back. So no, I wasn't the asshole for calling out his coworker at the party. That was just the beginning. And trust me, the last laugh was mine.